Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Williams. Episode number 10 today for the Dutch Grand Prix of Season 1. If you of course missed the previous episode at Belgium, then recommend go and check that out. Of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. I want to say a huge thank you for all the recent subscribers. Welcome. Currently only 9 away from 500 subscribers, so if you have not yet subscribed, then please do. It's the big red button under the video. It massively helps me out in sustaining the channel. Also, I'd just like to point out that this video last week, the episode number 8 I think it was of this series, it turns out that was the 500th video of mine on YouTube as well. So yes, if you've been watching all these years, then thanks for sticking around and supporting the channel as well. So yes, I didn't think I'd get to 500 to 500 videos. We'll get to 500 subscribers shortly. I've got a massive video planned for that as well, to sort of celebrate as well. But anyway, moving back to this video, Zandvoort, a track that I struggle really with tyre wear. Not really much we can do in terms of R&D. We've only got 800 resource points, which is annoying with this triple header. I have a feeling that this triple header is going to be where in future seasons, or even in this season, where the AI will just bang out. You know how they like to save their resource points and then bang upgrades time after time. We've got to put on a minor engine upgrade on. Unfortunately, the cable assembly failed, so this is annoying me. There's slightly too many failures for me personally, and we don't actually have enough resource points, so I'll repurchase that later in the weekend. But moving to qualifying then for Zandvoort, obviously, well, it's a track that we're going to be seeing in September. Obviously, all the Max Verstappen fans will be out in real life supporting him as well. I'm hoping there's a few Lewis Hamilton fans that make the trip across the North Sea as well. I mean, it isn't that far. I think there is surely there's some sort of ferry that we can get. But anyway, through into qualifying, as you know, usual stuff, down in last place. I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, the Williams is the second to worst car on the grid in this career mode, only just to the Haas car, which is way too fast. But anyway, so you go a little bit wide. That corner is dreadful on this game. It's just got understeer galore. Especially if you're a assist player, just watch out for that corner, because otherwise you'll end up in the gravel if you do not lift off. But anyway, it's not a great lap, to be honest. I mean, I've not really gelled with this circuit. The tyres just keep screaming really out. Last year it was the temperatures. This year it's just the fact that I don't have no grip, and you can see we're actually quite some way off Russell, 6/10 there, 6.5 tenths off actually, through the middle sector. At the final banking, this is another dreadful corner as well, where you can lose the rear end even though you don't have to actually do that. 2.5 tenths gained, not a lot. And well, dreadful qualifying continues here. Valtteri Bottas on pole. Obviously, he is the only man who can challenge Lewis Hamilton in this career mode, save as ours at the top. Charles Leclerc doing his thing. I mean, he has been consistent. Russell down in 18th, and we're down in last. So once again, showing that my qualifying pace is absolutely dreadful on this game. Time for the race.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside at races across Europe and throughout the world. Now at long last, they have a Grand Prix to call their own. It's a warm welcome once again to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. 2.6 miles then make up a lap here at a wet Zandvoort circuit, where some tricky braking zones and sudden drops can make it all too easy to slide off into the gravel. There are 14 corners overall and a 678 metre main straight, providing the best chance for overtaking. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Carlos Sainz and Ricciardo, Perez, Vettel, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Max Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and George Russell, Mazepin and a Williams. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
In these conditions, Jeff, as we've got Max Verstappen, by the way, taking a grid penalty at his home Grand Prix. I know that he's going to be taking one in real life, but I don't think he'll take it his home Grand Prix. But anyway, 5 red lights then, and away we go for well, it's full wets. I mean, I can hardly see anything. The spray is hard to see. We're going to dart down the inside of about 5 or 6 cars there into turn 1, try and make up some positions on the start. I think that's Tsunoda we're kind of cut out as we move all towards the carousel. Obviously we're now going to try and move for my famous move around the outside, try and thread the needle through that carousel section and through on Stroll. We're trying to bang wheels with Gasly, although we get close to the curb and almost have a little bit of a moment there. Of course the pace is absolutely dreadful and the Stroll is coming back at me absolutely there. We were about we're about a couple of seconds off the pace really. As Gasly and the rest of the top 10 are starting to move up, as Stroll had a little bit of a moment on the exit with the wash of spray coming up my car and allowed Ocon to get in front of him. So Ocon there, but although Ocon's taken some weird line here through the middle sector, so the AI, it's at least nice to see the AI making a little bit of a struggle, as well as we watch Yuki Tsunoda on this very wet camera. I do apologise, as Tsunoda's lost it, and Tsunoda is in the wall. That's a very that's the best camera angle that I've got of that. And we've been called in, although I said that, because it's actually time for intermediate tyres. So I think only 3 of us are coming in for inters: Ocon, myself and Schumacher. It's worth the risk, because I reckon the track is drying. It's not snow wet, and also on the F1 game we know that the wetness of the track is overdone. So yes, Jeff called us in and we've come in, and we'll see how that strategy pays off. But Bottas leads from Leclerc and Hamilton. Not really the top order, haven't really changed behind the safety car. But as the safety car comes in, we're catching up to the safety car, excuse me. A whole load of cars have come in, including the Mercedes, and they've come out behind us. So we are the highest placed person on the intermediate tyres. So it's been that might have been a whirlwindy strategy by myself to know that Jeff thought it might be dry, and B to also to make that bold decision. But safety cars coming in, everybody else now is coming in. We're just going to absolutely undertake them on the inside, and we're going to streak away from the AI and take the lead at the Dutch Grand Prix. There's a Williams in first place, ladies and gentlemen. Ocon, well, we know how he likes to make most of these strategies. He's up to second. There's debris on the racing line as well. I presume that's from Tsunoda. As you can definitely see, it is time for intermediates. As well, the puddles and standing water have gone. We might be time for dries in a couple of laps. We probably will get to dry tyres at this rate. Track's drying, but Ocon is trying his best to get back. Schumacher, of course, is driving the bit of cardboard, so he's going to drop like a stone. We're going to try and fight this as well the best we can, as a whole load of those cars who are outside the point start to set fastest lap. But Bottas gets past Ocon, and now he's going to be the main threat. We obviously want to keep ahead of Bottas, A, because I want to try and win the Grand Prix, because winning will be very good to show the Mercedes bosses what we're capable of, and B, because Bottas, if we show Bottas up, I mean, no offence to Bottas, but I mean, he is the more likely his seat is actually in real life, his seat is available. So this could, if if by real life Hamilton has the contract, we'll be looking for that second seat potentially, but we'll have to wait and see. As try and go 4 wide almost with Ricciardo there as I was talking. Ocon tried to come past Bottas and tried to attack me. Schumacher's all over the place in that bit of cardboard he's driving. And Sainz gets in front of him actually as he doesn't take the racing line, and now Bottas' thing. We've gone on the grass we're losing a bit at the front end, and I think we've made contact with Bottas as we came on the grass there. It is definitely try, but yeah, you can confirmation Bottas has lost a bit of his front wing as there's that tyre that's just stuck there for some reason. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but Bottas has indeed lost a bit of his front end plate visually, so he's going to be falling down a stone. And lumping to lap 14, it's time to come in for a set of soft tyres to go 3 laps to the end of the Grand Prix. The Inters were actually going off, so I will say this: they have improved the intermediate tyre wear, because they were dreadful on F1 2020, and they would go off. The rears would absolutely go off. We've got 5 cars though to overtake if we want this win, and I have a sneaky feeling, will some of those AI try and stretch it to the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see as we pass the bit of debris. Again, I'm trying to avoid that every lap, otherwise we never know what a funcher. But past Giovinazzi now, he's a bit of a rolling robot really. I mean, he's definitely time for dries, even though there's spots of rain on the lens. Just that time, just how it is in the F1 game, unfortunately. As Stroll and Verstappen are going side by side, we're going to get a nice front row seat for this lot, and we're going to try and go around the outside. No, into this one. Can we get this round the outside into the final corner on the banking? Yes, we can. What a lovely planned move there as both of those two come into the pits, and Leclerc and Hamilton are both in as well. He set the fastest final sector and regain the lead. But Ricciardo, of course, he's looking for his first win of the season as well. McLaren's second it would be, after Norris won an evenly dramatic race at France earlier in the season. But Ricciardo, of course, isn't going to stay this back. We're going to squeeze into the wall to the right hand side and try and get the traction around the outside. It's definitely dry in this track, definitely. I don't know if the drainage is this good in real life or not, but it's definitely dry. And the sun's actually coming out here at Zandvoort, but we squeeze Ricciardo off. We always get better traction outside of the carousel section as Ricciardo goes a little bit wide there, and that's going to allow Sainz to try and have a go. But Sainz tries to go around the outside of myself as well, and doesn't really work for him. In the end, Sainz has to settle for P3. Ricciardo unable to get things. So for the first time on F1 2021 driver career mode, I've won the Grand Prix.
That's a race win. You've really been great today.
And the usual amount of enthusiasm there from Jeff. I think Jeff would be, if in real life, the engineer would be absolutely over the moon.
It's a well-deserved victory for Williams then after that breathtaking Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
It looks like it's time once again to hand out the silverware as the successful drivers make their way to the podium. It was a gritty performance today by Williams, and they've got the race win to prove it.
Definitely was a gritty defence, Crofty. I mean, the first time actually agreeing with that man. But yes, first place, our first win on F1 2021 career mode in the Williams of all things. I didn't think we'd be winning until we got to the Mercedes, but there we go. It's a race win from Williams. It's a successful last to first challenge as well, making the strategy there. Ocon could only come in home in P5. Perez, we know how good he is coming through the field as well. Schumacher has his first points of the season, by the way, down in P9. George, no. Unfortunately, he has to settle for P18 in the end, but it does help us back in front of Sainz, who had a good run of form. Obviously, we're not really fighting them in the championship, But anyway, well, it does give Williams 60 points, all of those scored by me, so...
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
They'll be over the moon if Williams would be over the moon if they want to.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result? Well, here's hoping they're working hard to find some improvements.
Cannot be serious!
How, Claire, can we improve on first place? If you, I mean, yeah, I don't. She's clearly been smoking something again, or not been watching the Grand Prix, because definitely, I don't think we cannot definitely not improve on first place. That was definitely a race result that I wasn't expecting really, but I mean, we took advantage of the rain and the safety car as well. Sonoda as well helped us out in the DNF for him. Gasly only P8, so yeah, I think we got more from AlphaTauri, I should say, to come as well. More to come from Sainz. He's starting to get. I don't think the AI in this career mode is quite so focused as the one in real life, so expect a little bit more for him as he turns up in the. Especially after a podium, that should definitely increase his focus. So don't be surprised if we see Sainz up there in the next few races as well. Mercedes, no points for them. So yes, I'm sure they'll take it. Verstappen, unfortunately, could only be P15 at his home Grand Prix, so the Dutch fans will have to wait, and Verstappen fans will have to wait for him to win at his home Grand Prix. But if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more episodes of Drive F1 2021 Driver Career Mode. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.